Hello, everyone. I want to welcome all of our incoming students and families to Bucknell. We're excited to welcome another class to our beautiful campus later this fall. Starting college comes with so much excitement and a lot of responsibility, which we know is very overwhelming. But our team in Bursar Services wants to help make sure that we do our part to make it as stress-free as possible. In this video, we're going to walk students and parents through Bucknell's online billing platform, also known as B-Bill, and hopefully help you feel empowered in your ability to manage your student bill. A little attention early on does go to preventing many stressful situations later, allowing students and families to focus on what matters most, which we think is learning, growing, and enjoying everything that this college experience has to offer you here at Bucknell. My name's Brooke, and I'm one of the team members in Bursar Services. Bursar Services is the department on campus that manages and coordinates student billing, which includes tuition and fees, housing and meal plans, and various other incidental charges that can be included throughout your time as a student. If you visited campus during your college search, you are probably familiar with the admissions office here along Dent Drive. We're actually located in 108 Martz Hall, which is on the left-hand side here. You can navigate to our office either by coming up these steps and entering these double doors, or coming in these doors on the ground floor and taking the elevator or the stairs up here to the first floor. If you enter through these double doors here and turn right, you're going to navigate down this hallway pictured here, and you will see our office here. We do have a little sign over top letting you know that you have found Bursar Services. There are 4 of us here on the Bursar team: Carol, Stacy, Melissa, and myself, and we are always happy to assist students and families with any questions and concerns that you may have. We are a pretty friendly group and we're very welcoming, so please don't ever hesitate to reach out and stop in if you're on campus, or give us a call or send us an email. We are pretty good about responding as quickly as possible and directing you to the correct location if we are not the ones who can help you answer your question or solve your problem. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Bucknell submits billing electronically through our B-Bill portal. B-Bill is Bucknell's official paperless billing system, providing you a secure online platform for managing student billing and payments. I'm going to start off showing you how to log into B-Bill. There are a few ways to get there. The most obvious is our web address, www.bucknell.edu/bbill. This QR code can also be saved and used for quick access. So if you want to take out your phone and take a picture, save it to your camera roll, it can be accessed quickly when you want to get to the B-Bill site. Students can also navigate to what is called their campus dashboard and select administrative resources, where they will find a quick link right into the B-Bill homepage. Once you put that web address in, you'll come to a screen like this. Students have a single sign-on process using Duo multi-factor authentication. This is going to allow students to log in and view their B-Bill very easily when navigating through Bucknell's other campus accounts. So students are just going to click here and it should take you right to your B-Bill page without any additional login. Parents and financial support persons that have been granted access as an authorized user will log in using a username and password by clicking here. It's worth note that parent access is not automatic. Students must authorize parents or support persons in order for them to gain access to the student B-Bill. We recognize that many parents play a very significant role in the financial support of their students' education. However, privacy laws prohibit us from releasing any financial information without a student's consent. We're going to go over this more in better detail in just a moment here. I'm going to go to the next page. Once you're logged in, this is what the home page will look like. The student balance will be shown here. The 8-digit student ID number will be shown here. Over here on the left-hand side, we always include important announcements and information This is updated with new information for each bill cycle, including the bill due date, which is highlighted here in yellow. You also have a navigation toolbar across the top with little drop downs where you can select different options that you may want to navigate to, and some options over here as well. If you ever get yourself into something and you don't know how to get back to this home screen, this little house here in the top left corner will always bring you back to this home screen right here. When a student logs in for the very first time, the first thing we are hoping that they will do is add an authorized user. This will make sure that whomever is assisting the student with financial support will have access to the account to view and pay the bill and help the student manage their financial information. This helps ensure that your account is paid on time, helps you avoid late fees, and especially will prevent you from having stress during registration when students who have past due balances are prevented from putting in a schedule. We will cover that more a little later in this video as well. So from this home page, you're going to navigate to the side panel here and select authorized users. It's going to bring you to a screen like this. If you already have some authorized users, they will be listed here. If you have not added anyone yet, there will be nothing listed, and you're going to have to click over here to add authorized user. Once this screen pops up, you are going to enter the email address of the person that you are authorizing. The email that you enter is going to receive access to your student account, so please just double check the address when you enter it. Make sure that you're entering it correctly. These 3 questions right here are going to be auto populated as a yes. We do recommend that you keep them all checked as yes, but you will be able to review that and make that determination for yourself. To allow the person you're authorizing to have full access to everything for payment activity, your tax information, you're going to want to keep those all as yeses. And then you're going to click continue to go to the next screen. This is a verification page where you are authorizing the person that you have listed, which would be where these blacked out boxes are. I blacked out the names for privacy, but your personal information will all be loaded there. You'll review that, make sure that you are ready to proceed, click I agree, and then you're going to come over here and select continue. I guess we'll go back to that screen actually before we're ready for that one, because I wanted to go over one more thing. The new authorized user is going to actually receive an email after you do this with a temporary password, and that's going to include a link to log in and to view the account. The email address of the authorized user is the actual username when logging in, so parents and support people keep that in mind. Your username is going to be your full email address. After logging in with the temporary password that you will be emailed, you will then be prompted to set your own personal password. You also might be required to do something called a CAPTCHA verification to prove you're not a robot. This can cause issues for people from time to time because they make it so difficult at times to read the CAPTCHA that you may have to request a new CAPTCHA code to prove that you are not a robot. So that's something that can provide frustration at times for logging in, but just make sure that if you have any issues, you give us a call. We'll try to help walk you through fixing that. Before we talk about making payments in B-Bill, I'm going to take a minute to highlight adding something called a refund bank account. A refund bank account is a designated checking or savings account where excess funds are electronically deposited. If your student account has excess funds that you want to be refunded back to you, having that refund bank account will provide us with a secure location where we can send your money. For example, let's say you have paid your bill and you now have a zero balance, and then you receive an outside scholarship and we post that scholarship to your account. This will create something called an excess credit in your B-bill, basically an overpayment. If the student wishes to be refunded for that excess credit rather than letting it sit in their account for future use, they can request a refund. Having a refund bank account set up will make the process of refunding you smooth and secure. A refund bank account can only be added by the student, however, and not by any authorized users. So this can only be done by the student in the student's profile. To add a refund bank account, select electronic refunds on the screen. And then once you do that, a screen like this is going to pop up here at the bottom, and you're going to click Set Up New Account. You're going to enter the name of the person who's listed on the bank account that you are selecting to use for your refund bank account. So if this is an account that belongs to your mom, then you're going to make sure you put your mom's legal name here in this box. However, the person is listed on the bank account, that is how you want to put the information into this box. You're also going to select your account type. You are going to be provided the option of a checking or a savings account, and it does have to be a personal U.S. checking or savings account. No business, investment, or brokerage accounts can ever be used in B-bill. So make your selection here, savings or checking. You're then going to enter the bank's routing number, and the bank account number will need to be entered twice. It's really important that you check your bank account information carefully so that you process it accurately and your refund can be successfully completed. This is important when setting up your refund account as well as when making a payment. The bank will deny any transaction that is not accurately reflected in the way you enter your information. Also, worthy to note, do not enter a debit or credit card number here. This is only for electronic checking. It is not for credit cards or debit cards. Even though the debit card could be associated with your bank account that you're adding, that's your debit card number. That is not your account number. So make sure you do not enter any debit or credit card numbers here. If you have questions about the correct routing number to use or the correct account number to use, please verify that with your bank. Only one bank account can also be designated for refunds at a time. So keep that in mind as well. You can't add multiple refund bank accounts, only one refund bank account. You can, however, add multiple payment accounts. So let's say that you have 3 different accounts that you want to save in your profile for making payment. You can save multiple bank account information lists in there for making payments. You just cannot save multiple bank accounts for receiving refunds. Only one account can be designated for refunds at a time. Once you have set up and saved your refund account, you will not need to add it again unless you close that account or you want to change the account where you want your refunds to be sent. Students and authorized users are going to receive an email notification that looks like this when a new B-bill is available. Emails will come to students at their Bucknell email address and to the email address that the student has authorized in their account for authorized users. The emails are going to come from either bursar@bucknell.edu as well as campuspayments@touchnet.com. We do recommend that you add both email addresses to your contact list to ensure they are not filtered to your spam box. Like I said, this is an example of an email notification that you will receive when there is a new statement. The email will include a link here to take you directly to the B-bill. It also includes some important announcements that are relevant to that billing period. Down here, you'll find the student's name. The last 4 digits of their account number will be listed here. It won't actually list out the full 8 digits, but the last 4 will be there, and we can assist you using that information. And then finally, here will be your amount due and your due date. So we're going to go back up here and click on this link to take us to the B-bill page. I added a little note at the top of this page to quickly summarize what our billing schedule looks like each year. Our fall tuition and fees will be billed in July, and the payment for that will be due in August. Our spring tuition and fees will be billed in December with payment due in January. And we do send out additional statements monthly for incidental charges. That would be for things like bookstore charges, student health medications, possible car fines, any charge that comes from the various departments across campus. Students are going to click here to log in. Authorized users are going to click here. And after a login process, you will be back to the B-bill homepage. To review once again, once you're logged in, you're going to see your balance. You're going to see your 8-digit Bucknell ID number. Up here, it's going to show you who is logged in, if it's the authorized user or the student. You're going to have your announcements over here, due date, and all your menu of options across the top here. Now we're going to go over how to look at your actual PDF statement. A lot of people don't realize that there's an actual statement you can open and view. This isn't a statement. This is the home page to your B-bill. If you want to see your physical statement, you're going to click here, View Statements. This will open a new screen showing you all of the most recent statements, with the most recent being at the top. You're going to click View to open a downloadable PDF statement showing your official B-bill statement. Here's an example of an official B-bill. The left-hand corner is going to always include all the contact information for Bursar services. Across the top here, you're going to find the statement date, the corresponding due date, and then the total amount due. The student name, the student address, and the Bucknell ID number are here behind this blacked out box. Statements always include terms over here on the left with corresponding dates, detailed descriptions, and amounts for each charge and each credit posted to the student account. Charges can include things like tuition, rooms, and meal plans. Credits can include direct payments, dispersed financial aid, which would include grants, scholarships, and loans. And as you can see in this statement, if you made an admission deposit when you confirmed your enrollment at Bucknell, you're going to see that credited to you on your very first B-bill in July. Pending financial aid that has been added to the student account might also be something you will see included on your statement. For example, if you were offered federal student loans and you accepted them and you completed all of the required steps with the financial aid office so that you're set to receive that loan, when you get your statement in July, the loans will be listed as estimated financial aid. Now, keep in mind, that's only if you have completed everything you needed to with the financial aid office. If you've been offered a loan, but you haven't accepted it or completed the steps for signing your master promissory note or things like that, it's not going to show up on your B-bill because you still have steps to complete before we officially estimate that as aid. So you're going to want to look here, and if you don't see any estimated aid and you think that you are supposed to be receiving some, you're going to want to reach out to the financial aid office or to our office so that we can confirm what is still outstanding from you. The reason it's listed at that time as estimated financial aid is because student loans do not actually disperse the funds for them until the first day of classes. So approved and accepted loans are going to just be listed as estimated financial aid on a student bill initially until the aid disperses. Once the aid disperses on the first day of class and we actually get the funds from the loan originators, the loan credit will then move from an estimated financial aid column into a credit column. Down here, you're also going to see another view of the summary of charges. Here would be any kind of previous balance that you maybe did not pay from a prior billing date. Over here, you're going to see the total of all current charges, then the total of all current credits and payments. If you have estimated aid that is authorized onto your account, you'll see that here. And then it'll take all 4 of these columns into account to come up with a total amount due here on the right. You're also able to view activity for each term by returning to the home screen and selecting View Activity. This is going to populate a list of all terms that a student has available to view. So if we click here, this is kind of the screen that's going to come up. It's going to list all of the terms, starting with the most recent at the top. If you want to navigate and see anything that was either charged or credited in a term, you would click here and you'll be able to navigate through and view that. Students and authorized users can pay a balance directly in B-bill by selecting this orange Make Payment button. This is going to take you through a few steps to complete a payment transaction. You will first need to select one of these radio buttons, Current Account Balance or Current Statement Amount. This part can sometimes cause confusion because it looks like you only have 2 options for making payment. You can actually select either option, regardless of the amount you want to pay, because the system will then populate an empty box as shown down here. and you're going to enter a custom amount you want to pay. I know that is confusing. You would think there'd be a third option, but currently we're not able to set it up that way. So once you make your selection here, just be aware that that doesn't mean you need to pay zero or exactly $17.74. If you're logging in and you're paying $10 and someone else is responsible for paying the other portion, you can click either of those options, and regardless, you're going to get this empty box down here where you will enter a custom amount that you wish to pay. Then you're going to click continue. It's going to bring up a screen like this where you will be prompted to select your payment method from this drop-down menu. I have a little picture over here of an example of what the drop-down selection could look like. The first option you will always have is credit card via PayPath. If you have any saved payment methods, those will show up next. This person has two that they've named joint checking and one they named personal checking. Then the other payment methods that will be available is TransferMate for international payments. If you're a student who does not have access to a U.S. personal savings or checking account, you could select TransferMate so that you can make an international payment. And then finally at the bottom here is choosing electronic check. This is the same as your saved payment methods, but this would be for an account that you have not saved in your profile. So if you're using an account only one time, or you have not saved an account into your profile, or maybe a family member is using their account information for a payment, you're going to just choose electronic check down here at the bottom. Excuse me. It's also worth noting that there are no fees when you use an electronic check payment. So if you're going to use one of your saved payment methods or the electronic check payment at the bottom, there will be no fees charged to you for making that payment. However, there are service fees collected if you opt to use a credit or debit card. These fees are collected by the credit card company and are disclosed multiple times throughout the payment process. So you will be aware of whatever fees would be associated with your payment. There is, as you can see right here, the actual formal explanation for credit and debit card payments is right there. Once you hit continue, an ACH agreement is going to pop up. It's going to have terms and banking information. I have blacked out the name and banking information, so this large black box would have all the information, your bank name, your bank routing number, the address for your bank, everything that's personalized to you and your payment. Once you've read through that and you've confirmed that you are ready to proceed, you're going to click I agree to the above terms and conditions and then click continue. You're going to come to another page where you're going to confirm all the details of your payment again before officially submitting. I again blacked out personal information for privacy, but you can see the information that is included on this confirmation. Once you feel ready to proceed, you do need to click submit payment to finalize your payment. Some people miss that process and think their payment was completed, but it was not. If your payment confirmation was confirmed, you're going to have this pop up after you hit submit, showing you that your payment processed. It'll give you the information about your payment. You will also receive an email that looks like this. That is going to come to the email address associated with your, either as a Bucknell student, you'd have your Bucknell email, or the authorized user would receive that confirmation to their authorized user email. The email does come from campuspayments@touchnet.com. So again, make sure that you're on the lookout for emails from that email address, as well as bursar@bucknell.edu. In addition to making payments electronically online, we also accept cash and paper checks in our office at 108 Martz Hall. Paper checks can also be mailed to us at our mailing address, which is listed here: Bucknell University, attention Bursar Services, 1 Dent Drive, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania 17837. Please make sure that you always include the student's first and last name along with their 8-digit Bucknell ID number with every payment that is sent to Bucknell. This is the only way that we can ensure that we match payments to the correct student. Some students also use and have access to 529 college savings accounts to help them pay for their school. If you have a 529 college savings account, you are going to have your plan administrator distribute the funds directly to Bucknell. They're going to mail us a paper check to that One Dent Drive address that's shown here. Please confirm that they also include the student's name and Bucknell ID number with the payment. At this time, we do not accept electronic payments from a 529 account. We only accept payments through the mail in a paper check form. Your 529 plan can also distribute the funds directly to the custodian of the account, but it's worth noting that if you have the funds dispersed to you, it is best to make a payment to Bucknell for the same amount you receive as soon as possible, so that in the event you are audited, you have a clean paper trail showing that the funds you withdrew were used for payment to the student account. Bucknell also offers a payment plan option. It's administered by Nelnet Campus Commerce, which is a third-party administrator. The Bucknell monthly payment plan divides college costs into consecutive monthly interest-free installments. So there is no interest for using the payment plan. You're going to set the budget amount for your payment plan dependent on your specific out-of-pocket costs. We don't set that budget amount for you. Nelnet doesn't set that budget amount for you. It does have to be a number you determine when you're setting up your plan. You can adjust the amount throughout the time that you are in repayment. So for example, if you set up your payment plan today and then you receive your bill statement in July and you realize, oh, hey, I wish I would have set that plan up for more, you can actually log in and make an adjustment that's going to change the amount of the remaining payments in that payment plan. When setting up for fall, the plans open May 1st, and you must set up no later than August 1st. The spring semester plans open on October 1st and must be set up no later than December 31st. If you look here on the right, this is our target date chart showing you the options you have and the dates of enrollment, when they open up and when the last day to enroll is. It also explains when the payment window would be set for your payment plan each semester. Both U.S. and non-U.S. citizens can apply for the payment plan. Just note that while it is interest-free, there is an application fee of $50 that's charged to you when you set up your plan, and that is charged to you for each semester that you choose to enroll in the plan. So if you do it in the fall, you're going to pay the $50 when you set it up. If you do it again in the spring, you will pay $50 once again to set it up for spring. And kind of how I just alluded to, plans are by semester only. They will not roll from one semester to the next. So if you use the plan in the fall and you plan to use it again in the spring, please make sure that you set up your payment plan for the spring because it will not roll over. I also often advise parents that maybe one of the easiest ways to remind yourself is to set up a phone reminder, like a calendar reminder or something in your phone that alerts you every May 1st, time to set up my payment plan, and then again every October 1st, time to set up my payment plan. That way it doesn't get overlooked and you don't forget to set up your plan. For further information or to apply, we have a website here. It's mycollegepaymentplan.com/Bucknell. They also have a 1-800 number you can call and have them help you navigate setting up your payment plan. While Bursar Services is here to manage your tuition, your charges and payments, your account balance information, Bucknell's financial aid office is a completely separate department that essentially is going to help you figure out how to pay for it if that's something you want their assistance on. We are two separate departments, but we work very closely together to make sure that your aid is posted and applied to your student account each semester. There are many types of financial aid that a student can receive throughout their time as a Bucknell student. This would include gift aid, such as grants and scholarships. It could include borrowed aid, like federal student loans, federal Parent Plus loans, and private alternative loans, and then any other forms of aid, like employer-paid tuition benefits and veterans education benefits. If you're receiving an outside or external scholarship from an organization, such as your high school, you're coming here from high school and maybe you received some scholarships upon graduation, please make sure the check is forwarded to the bursar's office for processing. You can either bring them to us directly or have them mailed to us, but it does need to come through our office to make it onto your student account as a credit. If you are receiving an external scholarship that is requiring Bucknell to send a personalized or itemized invoice, in order to receive those funds, please reach out to the bursar's office for assistance and instructions, and we will work with you to make sure that we get you the information you need so you can receive your scholarship. If you have any specific questions about financial aid, you can reach out directly to the financial aid office. I have their contact information listed here at the bottom. You can email finaid@bucknell.edu or call their number 570-577-1331. They are also a very helpful office to work with. Another thing I want to make sure we go over is the student health insurance requirement here at Bucknell. All students are going to receive an email regarding the student health insurance enrollment. Every Bucknell student is required to carry adequate health insurance with local coverage, not just first-year students, but every student. All international students are actually required to enroll in our plan and will be billed for that coverage on their July bill. So if you're an international student, you will be enrolled, you will be billed. If you are a domestic student and you already have satisfactory health insurance coverage, you must complete a waiver to avoid enrollment in the Bucknell Student Health Insurance Plan. The email you receive about student health insurance will include a link to this website managed by RCM&D. That's our insurance broker. And the web address can be found up here. It is rcmdstudentbenefits.com/Bucknell. Once you receive this email, you're going to navigate to the site. It's going to look like this somewhat. I have the site listed of how it used to look, earlier for this year, but now it has not updated at the time of making this video. When it has updated, you will have a fall enrollment deadline and spring enrollment deadline here, and then waiver deadlines as well. If you are a domestic student and you have health insurance coverage, you will navigate here and click Waive Today. You will need to provide proof of coverage, including insurance cards. And once you submit that information, it can take a few hours, even a few days, for you to receive a confirmation that your waiver was approved. If you are a domestic student and you have an approved waiver, you won't be charged for the Bucknell Student Health Insurance. However, if you fail to complete a waiver or your waiver is denied, you will be charged for coverage at the advertised annual rate in August. So please make sure that you follow through with this email. We always have students who have health insurance who fail to do this and then are very surprised when they see the rate charged to their student account in August. So please make every effort to do this as soon as it becomes available. If you are a domestic student and you need health insurance coverage through Bucknell, you're going to actually navigate here where it says Enroll Today, and you're going to complete the requirements for enrollment. Students who enroll will be charged for that coverage at the advertised annual rate in August. Something I like to stress that is important in this process is that as a first-year student, you are going to have a requirement from Student Health to complete your insurance information. If you are an athlete, you're also going to have a separate requirement as a student athlete to complete your information. First-year students are required to provide their insurance card and their insurance information directly to Student Health as part of their to-do list that you are probably working through. And athletes are also required to provide their insurance information to the athletics department. Both of these are separate requirements, and we are not able to access the information that you've provided to Student Health or the information you have provided to athletics because of privacy laws. All students will be required to complete this waiver and enrollment process as we've been going over every single academic year. So this is not something that's required of you only as a first-year student, but every summer, every Bucknell student, domestic student, has this same requirement. International students will be auto-enrolled every year, but the domestic students must either prove that they have adequate coverage by completing a waiver successfully that is accepted, or by enrolling in coverage. It does have to be one or the other. And again, remember to make sure that your waiver is accepted. If you get a bounce back message telling you that it was not accepted because of whatever the reason, whether your insurance cards were not included, whether there was something they couldn't read, please pay attention to those emails. If they're telling you that your waiver has not yet been approved, you need to make sure you follow through and complete everything to avoid being charged. If you run into any issues with this, they have contact information listed here on the website, but you can always reach out to us too, and we will help get you to the right place. As we're coming to the end of our presentation, one more thing I want to make special comment on is the importance of monitoring your email and B-bill regularly throughout your time as a student. I recommend the same to authorized users who have access to the student bill. The Bursar's office will never send you spam emails. We will never send out information that is not important. So if you are getting something from us, if we are emailing you or we are calling you, please pay attention to that communication because it can truly impact your experience as a student. I myself have college age students. I know that your email can become overwhelming and difficult to filter. You might get a lot of important emails every day. Mixed in there, there might be a lot of emails that are not so important. But as a college student, you are going to have to learn how to filter out what you need to pay attention to and what things are most important. My advice to my children and to all of you out there is to never ignore emails that are tied to your finances. If the bursar's office or the financial aid office is emailing you or leaving you messages, it is likely something very important, and you should read and respond to it as soon as possible. It's also important to note that if a funding source, such as a loan, a payment plan, a 529 plan, as we all discussed those earlier, if those do not satisfy your entire account balance, you are responsible for payment of the remaining balance by the posted due date. If full payment is not received in a timely manner, delinquent student B-bill accounts are subject to financial and registration holds, as well as late fees, so please be mindful of the statement due date. This can include registration for courses for future semesters. We all know that can be a stressful time already. You're trying to get the courses that you want for the next semester. And you can have a hold put on your account that will prevent you from that registration if you have not kept your account in good standing. So please ensure that you are logging in, looking at your account, making payments, and communicating with our office if you're running into any troubles. We definitely want to make it as smooth as possible, but we cannot reiterate enough how important it is that you log in, that you stay in touch with us, and that you make sure you're monitoring your account. I know I threw a lot of information at you today. You probably are going to still have questions as you begin navigating your student bill and the entire process on your own. And we want you to know, as I've mentioned many times, you can reach out to our office. We're here to help you. We are very friendly. Our email and phone number and our physical location is listed here again. Please feel free to pull out your phone, take a picture of this information. We are also going to have a table set up at the first year orientation when you come here on Wednesday, August 19th. So please stop by, say hello. If you have any questions that come up until then, we'd be happy to see your smiling face. At the beginning of this video, I also listed a website where you can log into B-bill, and I provided you a QR code for that. But two other helpful websites that we have are our Bursar Services website, which is listed here at the bottom, along with our B-bill FAQ site, which is listed beneath that. They are kind of long web addresses, not so easy to remember. So I also created two QR codes for each website. If you want to pull out your phones and take a picture of this screen, have some quick access to the websites that will help you navigate and find answers if there are things that you still are wondering. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for taking time to watch our presentation. Hopefully you learned something helpful, and we really can't wait to see you on campus in August. Have a great day, everyone.